What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Maha Report, where we look at the latest Man United news. One of the main news taking over this news circle this morning and pretty much all week has been Jadon Sancho deal, and apparently that he is being offered for a reduced fee this summer. I did say in my last video that I don't see the value of this, because if we do go for him, what was the point of signing Diallo? If we are interested in signing Sancho again, what we need to do is trial Diallo now, put him on the bench. We've got the likes of Mata wasting space on the bench, and what we need to do is get him in, start trialing him in the last 10-20 minutes, see if he can be the guy that we need. Because what is the point of us spending 40 million on a player to go and then go sign another right winger for 80 million? You know, and some people will say the age. I think there's only a few years between them, so it doesn't even make sense from an age perspective. We shouldn't go back in for Sancho until we have a clear idea on Diallo. If he is a solution, that's a great result. We don't need to go play hardball with Dortmund and waste another summer on other transfers that we missed out on. And again, even at 80 million under these COVID restrictions, it's a difficult one to sign off on. So I just think we need to look at other areas now, the defence, the central defensive midfield position that has been glaring for years, in my opinion. We know that Ollie's not going to drop Maguire. You can't spend 85 million. Even the board won't let him drop him. So we need to find the partner that suits him. And I know there's been a lot of rumours in the news this morning that we've been linked to Varane and Tyrone Mings. Again, Varane, I don't see why Varane would leave Real Madrid. I feel like he's part of their future. I know Ramos this time might leave. He was rumoured last summer, but I knew that was just a ploy to get a new contract from Madrid. He was using us. This summer, he might actually be going, but I don't see how Madrid will sell Varane. That makes no sense, especially for 50 million. And let's be honest, Tyrone Mings, that's not the guy that's going to take us to the championship. He's not going to win us the title. He's done great for Villa, but he's not the guy long term that we need. And I think this summer they really need to address it. I know we've been linked to both defenders in Leipzig, Konate and Upamecano, but I really hope we don't spend more than I hope we don't spend more than 50 million on a centre-back, because it's getting a bit tiring. And the position I'm really keen on is the defensive midfield, where, to be honest with you, we should have addressed this a long time ago. And I know there's some big names that are promising young talent that we've been linked to, like most of the other clubs, like Declan Rice. But you know, again, if you think about the Premier League fee, the British tax fee, he's going to cost about 80 million. And do we really? I don't really feel comfortable spending 80 million on a defensive midfielder. And the same goes with Ndidi, who's my favourite player. I would love to sign him, but Leicester are going to hold us to ransom. And you know, I don't want to pay 80 million for Ndidi. There's a lot of quality players in Europe, like Bakary, who Atletico Madrid are keen on, and that's a team that signs these kind of players of high quality. You know, they're looking for a replacement for Thomas Partey. We should really look at the kind of players they're interested in terms of fixing our DM position and the kind of players that we want. That's where we need to look at. Look at how certain clubs who specialise in these positions, look who they're looking at. And is that the kind of players that we need to focus on? And I would love for us to get somebody in for 30-40 million, a proven European player who was wanted by some of the top teams in Europe, who will make a big difference. And then we can break up this McFred monopoly where we are limited at going forward, because we can't rely on our defence to hold fort. And so we have two players protecting them. And eventually that means one of them will be dropped. And I think in the current form, McTominay will keep his position. So ultimately, we're going to be looking at the position Fred's holding. because at the moment Pogba would get in. Now there's rumours with Raiola this morning that he said he can't talk because he'll get in trouble and all this. But it's clear they're trying to work a move away from the club this summer. I have personally done with the whole Pogba thing. I think he's a great player, but it just doesn't seem to work, and I just don't have the energy for it anymore. I think we can get in a quality replacement that can make the team. The drama alone is no longer worth the talent. He's a great player, but I'm just fed up with the whole thing. And I'm looking at it as if he is going this summer, and ideally we need to get I know Grealish is involved again, but again, what is that going to cost? So for me, my priority positions are centre back, DM, hopefully both from Europe, some top quality talent that other top clubs are interested in, because I don't think it's going to work otherwise. I don't think buying British is going to save us. It's going to cost us more than it needs to be. A lot of people are wondering if we are title challenged. This is a question that gets asked a lot. For me, I don't think we are, as I mentioned just now. I just don't feel until we get a centre back and a DM, we're in the race, because we're always left exposed and we're lacking creatively because we've got McFred in the team. And until we get that strong DM in and we can focus on the other side of the ball and not worry about our defence, we can't really challenge for the title properly. And so what should be our target this year? I think a strong finish is a close points tally to the eventual winners. It looks like it's going to be City. If we can finish within 10 points of them, that would be a great result for me. A trophy would be great. I'm not so confident about the Europa League. I think that's going to be tough. And even if at FA Cup, we've been drawn with Leicester, I think we will get through that game. We've been all right with Leicester. I know last time we conceded a late goal for an equaliser, but overall our record against Leicester has been pretty good. I think they struggle to beat us, and I expect us to get through. Of course, in the next round we're likely to face Chelsea or Man City, and it's going to be tough, and then the final itself. But I do believe we have a better chance in the FA Cup than the Europa League, and I think we should really go into that. And I want to see Oli. I mentioned Diallo earlier. Getting him on the bench, giving him some minutes. You can see that there's a close run of games coming up. It's a tight schedule. We need to make sure our league form isn't affected by playing the same 11, similar to a few seasons ago, or last season, sorry. And so we need to start rotating some of these players. And I think bringing in the likes of Diallo, and some of the other players getting more minutes on the pitch. And so our first choice is more refreshed. Clearly, Martial has struggled this year. Cavani steps up. And again, with them, they should just alternate. We can have Cavani for the league game, Martial coming in for the Europa League. I think Oli did a bad job last year of rotating the squad. They got fatigued. We just limped over the line. And I think they really need to avoid that this year, because we don't want to see a situation where we run out of gas and we're trying to hold off teams, especially in the league. As I mentioned, there's a close run of games coming up, and it could get tricky. He needs to use the bench more. We need to see what Diallo can do before we make any commitments to Sancho. And if it doesn't work, then somebody needs to ask the question, why did we spend 40 million on a teenager that wasn't proven? And now we have to spend another 80 million on Sancho. Hopefully it works. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. We can forget about Sancho this summer, focus on defense, focus on the DM position, and ideally we should be challenging for the title next year. But it is all about what Oli does during this season, the players he gives the opportunities to test. We need to solve the Donny situation. Why did we sign him? He needs to find a way into this team to make the most of it. And it's going to be there's a lot Oli needs to do during the season, queries he needs to resolve, Diallo, etc. And then we can decide what we're doing in the summer. And I think the centre-back and DM position is a must. I don't think that doesn't matter what happens now. But definitely other positions, before we go for Sancho and, the Grealish, etc. We need to figure out what we're doing with the Diallo? What are we doing with Donny? These things need to be figured out during the season. Hopefully, we can make a success of it. Otherwise, questions need to be asked of our board. Why were they signed? Clearly, they are the panic buys that it looked like they were. And going forward, can we trust these people? I already think we can't, but we need to figure out whether how we manage this going forward, because clearly there's no coordinated effort going on. They just, there's a plan A, and if it doesn't work, it's just a plan makeup after that. There's just no coordinated effort, but we'll have to wait and see what they do this summer.